The skies above the Middle East tremble with the sonic roar of dozens of U.S. Air Force F-15 fighter jets slicing through the atmosphere at high speed, marking one of the most visually and psychologically jarring air displays in recent memory. For the Houthi forces entrenched across northern Yemen and in outlying territories, the sight was nothing short of shocking. The swift and sudden deployment of these high-performance aircraft signaled a decisive shift in momentum, designed to overwhelm enemy observation and reaction times, while sending an unmistakable message of force projection from the United States and its allies. The F-15 Eagle, a supersonic tactical fighter with an unmatched combat record, is a symbol of American air dominance. With a top speed exceeding Mach 2.5 and an array of advanced weaponry, it is engineered for both air superiority and precision strike missions. Its twin-engine power, electronic warfare systems, and radar-guided missile capabilities give it a lethal edge against both airborne threats and surface targets. When dozens of these jets appear in formation, traveling at maximum velocity, the combined sonic shockwave and radar profile are enough to trigger widespread alarm among enemy networks. And that is precisely what occurred during this latest maneuver. Multiple regional observers reported the initial sound long before the jets were visible. The deep, rolling thunder of high-speed fighter jets traveling in synchronized formation created a wave of unease across key Houthi-controlled districts. Villagers from Sada to Al-Hudaydah reported hearing the jets pass over in coordinated bursts, often followed by aerial reconnaissance drones and mid-air refueling aircraft fly in support. Within hours of the F-15's appearing on radar, Houthi communications channels lit up with emergency broadcasts, scrambled messages, and warnings of impending aerial operations. This strategic flyover was not merely a demonstration. According to Pentagon sources, the operation was tied to a real-time intelligence initiative targeting suspected ballistic missile launch sites, drone production facilities, and underground weapons caches used by Houthi insurgents. The decision to deploy F-15s instead of slower strike aircraft or drones was intentional, designed to leverage their speed, agility, and multi-role versatility. These jets are capable of launching air-to-ground strikes with DAMs, Joint Direct Attack Munitions, AIM, 120 Amaron missiles for aerial engagements, and precision-guided bombs that limit collateral damage while delivering maximum disruption to enemy operations. The Houthis, who have often relied on unpredictability, guerrilla tactics, and low-tech weaponry to challenge technologically superior foes, found themselves briefly paralyzed in the wake of the F-15 surge. Several forward operating bases in Houthi territory went dark, reportedly evacuating non-essential personnel and relocating command elements underground or into hardened bunkers. Civilian and satellite footage showed makeshift camps being abandoned and suspected missile transport convoys being rerouted or concealed within mountainous terrain. The psychological effect of these aircraft, their thunderous speed, their unmistakable radar signature, and their precision payloads, was as strategically effective as any missile strike. In regions like Marib and Al-Jaw, coalition intelligence units began tracking Houthi responses. Radar operators, ground observers, and local informants recorded frantic efforts by Houthi commanders to mask or dismantle air defense systems, anticipating follow-up strikes. Although the Houthis possess some Iranian-supplied surface-to-air missiles and radar-jamming equipment, their ability to counter the speed and stealth of coordinated F-15 squadrons remains extremely limited. That technological gap has only widened over recent years, as U.S. jets have been retrofitted with advanced avionics and adaptive electronic warfare suites capable of neutralizing enemy systems before engagement. While no official figures were released, defense analysts believe that the number of F-15s involved in this particular operation exceeded 24, possibly more, drawn from multiple USAF wings stationed across the Middle East. Aircraft from Qatar, the UAE, and 4 deployed U.S. bases in Saudi Arabia and Djibouti may have participated, operating under joint command structures with real-time coordination. Aerial refueling operations extended the range of the mission, allowing jets to loiter longer and cover more territory than in standard sortie patterns. This made it nearly impossible for Houthi units to predict where or when a strike might land, adding to their confusion and fear. The decision to use the F-15s in such a dramatic show of force followed a series of provocative actions by Houthi factions, including missile attacks on commercial shipping, drone incursions into coalition airspace, and the targeting of civilian infrastructure. The flyover was not simply retaliatory, it was preventive. The U.S. wanted to neutralize potential threats before they could be mobilized, and to remind the Houthis that their increasing reliance on asymmetric warfare would not go unanswered. By deploying high-speed tactical fighters in such volume, the U.S. established a no-illusion boundary, a clear signal that escalation would be met with overwhelming firepower. Behind the scenes, coordination among coalition partners played a key role in the operation's success. Advanced radar systems and satellite surveillance fed live intelligence into command centers located in Bahrain, Qatar, and aboard U.S. Navy vessels in the Red Sea. These data streams allowed real-time tracking of Houthi vehicles, anti-aircraft systems, and communications hubs. The F-15s were then routed to fly low and fast over key positions, creating a sensation of an omnipresent threat. In effect, it paralyzed the movement of Houthi convoys, disrupted supply lines, and forced enemy fighters to retreat from exposed terrain into defensively inferior positions. As reports spread of the operation, regional media portrayed the flyover as a turning point in the ongoing standoff between the U.S.-led coalition and Houthi insurgency. International observers, including those from the UN and independent watchdog organizations, noted a dramatic reduction in Houthi military activity in the 48 hours following the F-15 surge. While some criticized the show of force as provocative, others praised it for its precision and its role in avoiding a drawn-out ground conflict. U.S. military sources reiterated that the mission had followed all international laws of engagement and that every step had been taken to avoid civilian harm. On the ground, the impact was both physical and psychological. Even in areas untouched by bombs or missiles, the roar of jet engines and the sight of contrails painted across the sky left a deep impression. For young recruits within Houthi ranks, many of whom have limited combat experience and minimal exposure to modern air warfare, the sheer velocity and coordination of the jets reinforced the sense of critical. For senior Houthi leaders, the operation underlined the reach and readiness of the U.S. military machine, a sobering reminder that no bunker is beyond reach and no command center immune to disruption. Further developments suggest that the F-15 presence will not be a one-time event. Ongoing surveillance flights and aerial patrols are expected to maintain pressure on Houthi command and other aircraft types.